So I'm on day 16 of the denture journey, and everything's healing really well. I still can't eat, I want to say hard foods like a chunk of chicken. That's something that I can't bite down on. And when I say bite down is gums are healing really well, except for the very bottom. They're not sore and they're healing. They're just very like tender. And when you bite down on something, the top of your gums are resting on the denture, and you can actually feel it, and it's just very tender, and you just can't bite down and chew. I mean, you can chew a little bit, but on harder foods you can't do it quite yet. But it's only been 16 days, and I ain't complaining. I do have to thank Chef Boyardee, because you can eat a lot of pasta when you eat dentures. But anyway, the denture journey continues. The J2. But first, I gotta thank Elliot. Elliot sent me a Fusion Core mask, and I'll show everyone how this works once we get to that part. But anyway, I'm going to put a link in the description so you can see what fedoratron.com has to offer. So anyway, that's thank you, Elliot, and that's up next. The J2. Again, before I show that, I gotta point this out. The color chart, it all calls out Model Master or testers. I haven't bought testers in God knows when, and I sure as hell haven't bought Model Master since they came out with acrylics. So anyway, there is one color on here that I actually do buy, and that's duck egg blue. I will buy that color in Model Master because I can't find it in an acrylic, and that's my favorite Star Trek ship color. But anyway, I'm going to take, I'm going to basically match the acrylic version of Model Master. So I started with the floorboard, which is a dark tan, and it's pretty close. So I went with Tamiya NATO Brown. It's really close to the dark tan. Got the upper level painted, and now I know everyone's going to ask, why did I put it together and then paint it? And I could have painted the floor first and then put everything on, but I'm a type of, I've had problems doing stuff like that. You know, you'll get everything painted, and then you'll start putting the parts on, and then you'll actually get a glue somewhere, and you got to try to sand, and it's just it's easier to get it all assembled, for me anyway. And then if you have any problems painting everything, you can touch up with the brush and everything. It's just easier for me. That way all your construction's done, and you don't have to worry about the trying to touch up the paint finish or have to repaint the whole thing after you tried your darndest to paint one section and then glue the parts anyway. That's the way I do it. Anyway, got the I don't know if you can see it. Got the upper level painted. I may or may not paint the bottom. I haven't really decided. If I do, it'll probably be like black or something. I don't really like to paint the same color on everything, especially when you ain't going to see it, when you're just basically pulling it out of the ship. Lower level, same thing. Got that painted with the NATO Brown. So we are good to go. And NATO Brown on Tamiya is more of a tan. It ain't really brown. The next video on these is going to be boring. I'm going to probably even bore myself just a little bit, because I got the base coat painted, and then I'm going to have to take a little bit of future, and I got to seal it all. And then my next task is I'm going to mask it a little bit, but I'm basically going to make a template, and I'm going to start painting the outer walls, which is Tamiya. Model Master says buff. So we are going to go with Vallejo here on the buff. So anyway, that's next. Try to get the, at least get the sidewalls all painted and everything. That's my plan next. So next boring video will be me shooting future. So I'll try to make it exciting as possible. Sub-assemblies. And that's the landing gear. Now, I've been trying to get away from red putty, and red putty has its place and everything, but I've been slowly using I call it liquid styrene. This is melted down sprue. You just cut you up some sprue, put it in a bottle, put you some model glue in there, and let it dissolve. And you make it thick, thin, however you want. And it's just, it actually bites the plastic. So, and it sands really smooth when you wet sand it. And we're good to go on that. Anyway, I got 2 more to go, and I cheated. I took some styrene strip and put it down in the frame, because I'm not going to sand all that. It's almost impossible to do, and you'd still be at it. This way, covers up the seam, and it adds a little bit of detail. But anyway, there is that on the J2 landing gear. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. Dentures are still in the trial era, and we are painting the floorboard on the J2. Hopefully get a little more done on that. And but anyway, that's what I got going on, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.